everyone. Today is the 10th of October 2025, and here is the latest about the Israel approved Gaza seals control. Israel's government on Friday approved an agreement brokered by President Trump that paves the way for a ceasefire in the 2-year-old war in Gaza and the return of all remaining hostages held by Hamas. The approval by Israel's cabinet after midnight in Israel on Tuesday in the United States came hours after Mr. Trump and the chief Hamas negotiators, Khalid al-Hayya, each declared that the war in Gaza was over. In a televised speech, Mr. al-Hayya said Israel and Hamas had reached an agreement to end the war and that the United States has provided guarantees that it was over. Mr. Trump said that he would travel to the Middle East this weekend to attend the signing of the agreement and that the return of Israeli hostages and a subsequent exchange of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel would take place Monday or Tuesday. At the White House, he celebrated the initial agreements between Israel and Hamas as a momentous breakthrough that would bring peace to the Middle East. U.S. officials said 200 American troops would be sent to Israel to help coordinate the execution of the deal. It remained unclear on Tuesday evening if the war was truly coming to an end. The initial agreement between Hamas and Israel addressed only a few of the 20 points in a plan Mr. Trump proposed last month, and some of the most difficult issues appear to have been left to future phase of negotiations. Those include who would rule post-war Gaza and whether Hamas would lay down its weapons. When asked if the deal meant the end of the war, Jordan Sars, Israel's foreign minister, told Fox News, "It is the implementation of the first phase. Though more conditions will be met," he added, we don't have any intention to renew the war. Here's what else to know. U.S. troops, the 20 American troops, will work out of a civil military coordination center that the U.S. Central Command plans to establish in Israel to help coordinate the many aspects of the deal, according to U.S. officials. The American force, mostly military planner, logistics, security, and other support specialists, will join soldiers from nations in the region, including Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates. There is no plan to send U.S. military into Gaza, one of the U.S. officials said. What is the next? There was some uncertainty about when the ceasefire will start. The foreign minister, Mr. Sar, said the truce would begin immediately after the Israeli government approved the deal. Earlier, however, an Israeli government spokesman, Sean Spicer, said a ceasefire would go into effect in Gaza 24 hours after the vote. Israeli force would pull its force back to lines that will leave them in control of about 50% of the Gaza Strip, said Mr. bad reason. After the withdrawal, Hamas would then have 72 hours to return all the hostages, she added. Here is what we know about the deal. The ad proves the United Nations said it was preparing to rush desperately needed food, medicine, and other aid into Gaza, where severe hunger has taken hold and some children have died of starvation. Some 2.1 million people live in the enclave, where most infrastructure has been reduced to rubble, and basic municipal services like clean water, functioning sewage system, and garbage pickups are in the shambles. Prisoners and hostages officials were still finalizing a list of Palestinian prisoners to be freed by Israel in exchange for remaining hostages and the bodies of those who have died in captivity. President Trump's proposal stipulated that 250 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences and another 1,700 Garan detained during the war would be released. Israel has said that Hamas still holds about 20 living hostages. Toll of war. The war in Gaza started in October 2023 when Hamas led an attack on southern Israel, killing about 1,200 people, most of them civilians, and taking about 250 hostages. The Israeli military has since killed more than 67,000 Palestinians, including civilians and combatants, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, and reduced the territorial infrastructure to ruins. About 1,000 Israeli soldiers has been killed in fighting. Risk for Hamas. In agreeing to a deal, Hamas is giving up much of the leverage it has with Israel. While the agreement achieves the release of Palestinian prisoners, there is no certainty it will lead to the end of the war, and it provided for only a partial Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. Hope in Gaza. Palestinians in Gaza welcome the agreement, but many have questions about what it will mean for them, their loved ones, and their devastated communities. Their situation has no change in any material way on Thursday morning. Food, water, and medicine remain scarce, and their cityscape remain ruined. But there were reasons for hope. Thanks for listening. 会希望说加沙那一带能够包括以色列的人民，包括巴勒斯坦的人民都能有更民主和更自由。但是我们看加沙战争它始于就是2年前的10月，哈马斯对以色列南部发动的袭击，造成1200人的死亡，并劫持了250名的人质，而且这些人质直到现在只剩下20个还活着。那么按照加沙这边的统计的话，那以色列的反击造成了67000名巴勒斯坦人的死亡，包括平民和战斗人员，然后有1000个以色列士兵在战斗中丧生， 所以无论如何，就是即便说这恢复了和平，但这依然是一个非常非常巨大的伤痛。当看清战斗的双方，作为平民的我瑟瑟发抖。我觉得我没办法看到希望，就是他哪怕是和平，可是这种和平的话，就是他们在战争中尚且如此残暴，那么回归到现实生活中，对待被他们统治的公民的话，又能有多少的仁慈？这显得我非常的悲观主义，但我始终不明白这到底有什么好争的，以及这到底有什么好战的。好的，感谢。